Hey guys, it's Nita, the Gifted One. I know it's been a minute since I made a video, but it's just kind of been taking a break. So this time, what we're going to talk about is Shia LaBeouf, one of my favorite actors who, for lack of a better term, he has lost his damn mind. Now, I am all for artistic expression, but my man Shia just sometimes, it doesn't always come off like it's really him genuinely trying to express himself, but him trying to like one up or trying to outdo whatever crazy antic he did like a while ago. So I'm just going to point to 4 stories about Shia LaBeouf in which I kind of felt a little concerned for him. Here we go. The first story is this new motivational speech that he's doing with some college kids. And it's, he literally should be the damn spokesperson for Nike because he just do it!
Do it! Just do it!
Just do it!
Waiting for? Do it! Just do it!
I love that shit. When I saw that, I mean, first off, he is rocking that rat tail. I mean, I don't really like it. I like Shia LaBeouf with short hair, but you know, you do what you do. And then he's just like, do it. And I love how he puts his hands like here, like this, like he's almost going hove. And he's like, do it. And I love how he starts off like very dramatic, very quiet, very, you know, and he's like, you know, when someone trying to tell you not to follow your dreams, because there is no tomorrow, there is only today, and today we're just gonna do it. You know, I love that shit. But this video to me is just adding to the plethora of weird situations and weird antics that Shia LaBeouf has been doing. And I was just, when I heard about this video, I kind of was like, for real? And so you see it now. And I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's saying in the video is really true and it's really poignant, but just the way that he delivers it. But then I also read that it's supposed to be funny. I mean, unless you're Jim Carrey or Maya Rudolph, like most people don't really expect your motivational speeches to kind of be funny. But that was just, you know, that's a small one that I'm, you know, that I think is funny. It's not really something that makes me worry about him. The other 3 stories do. So let's move on to the second story. And I'm going to include a clip in the video about a month and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken. But he did an interview with a magazine whose name evades me right now. In the magazine, he basically confessed that during his I'm Sorry art exhibit, if you can call it art, he was raped.
It then goes into further detail, recalling one instance where he was raped by a woman. One woman who came with her boyfriend, who was outside the door when this happened, whipped my legs for 10 minutes and then stripped my clothing and proceeded to rape me. He continues. There were hundreds of people in line when she walked out with disheveled hair and smudged lipstick. It was no good, not just for me, but her man as well. LaBeouf then notes that his girlfriend was also in attendance and knew what had happened. He explains. I guess the news of it traveled through the line. When she came in, she asked for an explanation, and I couldn't speak, so we both sat with this unexplained trauma silently. It was painful. Following the release of the interview, British artist Luke Turner, a collaborator of the I Am Sorry exhibit, took to Twitter to confirm the rape, tweeting out, "Nowhere did it state that people could do whatever they wanted to Shia during I Am Sorry," adding, "As soon as we were aware of the incident starting to occur, we put a stop to it and ensured that the woman left." Elsewhere in the interview, LaBeouf participated in a silent hour with the Day's writer Amy Cliff, which is exactly what it sounds like.
And apparently the people who sponsored the art event, they actually went to Twitter and basically confirmed his claims by saying that it was a situation that went down and they told the woman to leave. And I was like, hold up. First off, I have a huge problem. Like, rape is wrong. Rape is destroying someone's humanity, essentially, and making them walk around and continue to live a shell of their former self. I do kind of hate the double standard that even though women even have an issue with going to the police and going to authorities and having their stories believed, but it's even worse for the men who are raped, and especially men who are raped by women, because
a Seattle woman pleaded not guilty Thursday to second-degree rape of a now 31-year-old man. The alleged victim said that he attended a neighbor's party in June of 2013. He then went home at 10 p.m. and fell asleep, only to wake up at 2 a.m. with a woman now identified as 28-year-old Shantae Marie Gilman on top of him, pinning his hands down and having sex with him. Documents say he did not personally know Gilman, but recognized her, quote, as a drug user in the area. It is unclear how she was able to enter the man's home. He stated in court documents that he initially told Gilman to get off of him. When she did not, he worked his way out from under her and pushed her out the door.
You do have some women and some men out there that believe a woman just can't rape a man.
Good evening, Jay and Delane. The FBI is actually expanding its definition of rape. Now, for some reason, the FBI never included male victims in counting rape numbers, and that's changing.
Anyone can be a victim, but for years, crime statistics have not given us a clear picture of just who is affected by rape.
So many people are left out.
Dina Burrell from the Rape Crisis Center read aloud the FBI's old
before.
Officers expect that number to go up this year, and News 4 San Antonio's Emily Bockham found out why.
She is live at police headquarters with the surprising change to a federal law that's behind this. Emily.
Good evening, Jay and Delane. The FBI is actually expanding its definition of rape. Now, for some reason, the FBI never included male victims in counting rape numbers, and that's changing.
Anyone can be a victim, but for years, crime statistics have not given us a clear picture of just who is affected by rape.
So many people are left out.
Dina Burrell from the Rape Crisis Center read aloud the FBI's old definition of rape.
Is the carnal knowledge of a female forcibly and against her will. That's it. And that's from 1927.
Nearly 90 years later, the FBI is now expanding its definition to include men. Burrell says more men than you think are victims of these attacks.
It does happen. It happens quite often.
But for years, police categorized those crimes as assault.
Rapes are serious no matter when, where, how they occur.
Police Chief William McManus says because of the change, San Antonio's rape numbers are expected to go up this year. But he reassures the public, we do not have a serial rapist problem.
The type of rape people think of is, they're walking down the street and somebody jumps out of the bushes and sexually assaults them. We don't have a lot of those cases.
He says more than 80% of victims know they're rapist. It's so hard for any victim to speak up.
Your first appointment is so hard.
But Burrell says more men are asking for help.
It's actually coming in after the fact, like years later.
And counselors hope expanding the law will encourage even more victims to come forward.
If you don't find me attractive, and you're saying no, and I forced myself on you, isn't that, I did find it bothersome that they basically escorted the woman out and told her to leave. And according to Shia LaBeouf, everyone knew because she basically went out of the room and he said her lipstick was smeared and her clothes were kind of disheveled. And he said it was almost like, people in the line, the knowledge that happened to him got passed down, almost kind of like a rumor. You know how when you're, a kid in high school or in junior high school, you hear a rumor and you're like, and then they turn, behind their desk and kind of like that. So his girlfriend, who was in the line waiting, found out about it. And then when she came in the room with him, they just sat there and cried. And I was like, why didn't he press charges against this woman? Why didn't they apprehend her? Why didn't they call the police? And I know there's a lot of shame that comes to being raped, especially for men. But, I'm not saying I don't believe him, but I just, but then again, you can't really say that, so I'm just going to retract my initial thought. Because there are tons of victims out there that don't press charges against their rapists because they don't want to go through all of that. They don't want to go through the whole examination where they examine your body and it's almost like you're being raped again. And then constantly having to, relive the story by constantly having to tell people and do a report and go through a press. I can understand completely why sometimes people just figure this, it's just too much to do. But I just found that really, really alarming. And I was like, if you sit back and think about it, like his I'm Sorry exhibit was basically kind of like his homage to Marina Abramovich's performance art called The Artist is Present. And she did that at MoMA. She basically, just sat there for like weeks straight, if I'm not mistaken. And you could just come into the exhibit and just sit in the chair across from her and just look at her. And I saw the documentary for it, and it was very effective. I mean, I would have loved to have gone and have her stare at me. And I like the fact that there was no time limit, so you could technically kind of stay for as long as you wanted, sort of. But that was kind of like his homage to it. But see, this is where Shia went wrong. And Abramovich, on the other hand, had security. It was a wide room. And everybody was in that same room. So, whereas with him, from my understanding of how it worked, you went into the exhibit, and there was a woman who was like the producer or the art curator or whatever, and she presented, she was standing in front of a table, and on the table there were certain items, which kind of made me think that he was also sort of paying an homage to Rhythm O, if I'm not mistaken. And it was basically where, and I'll include a picture of it, and it's basically where she had a table full of different items, varying from a rose, lipstick, feathers, a gun, a knife, and she basically just stood there and allowed people to, also a hairbrush, and she just stood there and allowed people to do whatever they wanted. And it was okay for the first couple of hours, but then it steadily, the people started getting more aggressive and started getting more, cruel to her, to the point she eventually had to end it because one guy actually came, and there was also a bullet as well, along with the gun, and one guy actually came and aimed the gun at Abramovich. And, of course, they stopped it, thankfully. And you would go into the exhibit. The woman would stand there, and she would direct you to pick up an item. One item, if I'm not mistaken, was like little pieces of paper that had like different tweets that were like positive tweets or negative tweets about Shia LaBeouf. Another one was a whip and some other items. And you would pick an item, and then you would go into this secluded room with Shia LaBeouf. And there was no one in there to monitor what was going on, to monitor the people, to monitor his safety. And so the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not saying that because he put himself in a dangerous situation, he should totally understand that you got what was coming to you. Like, no. But you do certain things like that, like Abramovich did, where she had security to ensure that things couldn't even possibly happen. Personally, why would he go to a magazine interview and basically admit to the whole world that he was raped if he was lying? Like, why would you do that? And then he's a man. I mean, 9 times out of 10, men are less likely to report if they've been raped, be it by a male or a female, than women are. And the statistics, which I don't have, but the statistics that I've seen in regards to women reporting being raped, it's amazing how low that statistic is. So can you imagine even more so for men? If it's that low for women, it's probably even lower for men. So, stuff like that I just found perplexing, and it made me feel sorry for Shia. I was kind of like, no one should have that done to them. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, why didn't you guys take the necessary procedures and the necessary measures to make sure that something like that didn't happen, and that when it did happen, that you made sure that, the person who did this to him got some sort of repercussions or some kind of punishment for her actions, because that's just wrong. I don't give a shit if that was her big fantasy. At least ask, hey Shia, I love you. Will you fuck me? No? Okay. You will? Okay. But then on top of that, like, the whole premise of the thing was that he wasn't going to talk. Sat there looking at you through this paper bag that said, I'm not famous anymore. Nobody knows what went on in that room other than Shia LaBeouf and God, okay? And that woman. So, that's my little rant about that. So, next story. The next story is about Shia LaBeouf filming him and his girlfriend having sex as an audition tape for Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac. When I heard this, I thought it was full of shit, because I was like, why? Lars hyped up that movie so fucking much by making it seem like the actors were actually going to have sex. As an actor, let me explain something to you. Okay? Okay. Number one. Okay? A porn star's sole purpose is to have sex on camera. An actress's sole purpose is to basically play a character on camera. Now, granted, sometimes that may require you to stimulate sexual intercourse, or stimulate a blowjob, or a hand job, or you eating someone out, or you getting eating out, you know, cunnilingus, whatever you want to call it. But that does not mean you're actually doing it. In the film The Good Girl, which is a beautiful film that features an amazing performance by Jennifer Aniston, who's not really my favorite actress, but she was badass in that film, and Jake Gyllenhaal. In the scene where they have a love scene, Jake Gyllenhaal's on top of her and they're having sex, they had a pillow in between them. And so Jake Gyllenhaal is basically just humping the pillow with like his pants on. You know, she had her top off, yes. He had his top off, yes. But they were fully clothed from the bottom down. And it's just to give the illusion. I mean, think about it. Films have scenes where a person's head is blown the fuck off. And then you see them in another movie. This shit is not real. So having sex on camera is not real unless you're doing a porno. With film, you don't do that, okay? So when Lars von Trier was saying, we're going to have the actors have sex, I was like, yeah, right. Then he started saying, after like people were really questioning that he was hyping it up that these actors are going to have sex on camera. And people were like, how can you do that? Then he finally said that the actual actors are going to stimulate having sex. And that he was going to have actual porn stars or actual, you know, actors who were just purely there to fuck. He was going to film them and then superimpose them having sex onto the body parts of the actors in the film. That's not the same thing, okay? That's the equivalent of me taking my head and cutting it off my body and placing it and superimposing it on a picture of Halle Berry. That's hot. That doesn't mean that's my body, okay? That means that it's called Photoshop, okay? Not the same thing. So the main fact that this boy actually sent a video fucking tape of him fucking his girlfriend to the director to be like, I can do this film. I was like, Shia. You're doing too much, boo. Like, don't get me wrong. I respect the method all day long. I was taught relatively the method. But you don't actually have to do drugs to portray a crack addict. You don't. I don't have to all of a sudden be like, let's get this crack in my veins.
Yo, daddy, I suck your big black dick for $2.
Or let me smoke the crack. See, that right there? That shows I don't know drugs. So there you go. Well, smoking a crack pipe or whatever. I don't have to do that. There's a part of acting called substitution. Meaning that if there's something that the character wants that you don't have any personal experience with, that you can't relate to, that won't elicit the kind of emotion that you need for the scene, then you substitute that with whatever would spark that kind of emotion out of being addicted to sodas. So I have to use that in order to propel myself to understand the psychology of someone who would do anything and everything for fucking crack in order to obtain crack. Sometimes you may not have the same experience as your character, but you have to find ways to bridge in the gaps. So that's substitution. Did he necessarily have to fuck his girlfriend and send it in as an audition tape? No! Everybody has had sex at least once in their life. And if you haven't, I'm sorry. But, or good for you. Like if you're a virgin, you're holding on, good for you. But that does not mean that we have to get fucking and then send this to the director of the movie and be like, I can fuck. I'm good for that role. No. Shia. What have you done to yourself? So, the last Shia LaBeouf related incident that I'm going to talk about is the video he did with Maddie, the awesome ass little girl who usually dances in Sia's videos. And he did a video with her called Elastic Heart. Okay, Sia's Elastic Heart. This song is beautiful. Now, when I saw the video, I can literally show you, and I'll show a clip of the video. I can literally recapture the look on my face when it was done. This is it. Okay. Huh? Alright. That literally was my reaction. Now, I've heard a lot of people condemn the video because they feel Shia LaBeouf was, some people said that he was too old to kind of be doing that kind of a dance with her. Some people said it had kind of pedophilic feel to it. At times, it kind of varied on that, but if you listen to the song and you try to apply the video to the song, it shouldn't give you that kind of feeling. I'm a big fan of Sia from her work with 07. Okay, I love her work with them. I haven't really listened too much of her solo stuff, but the song for Elastic Heart is very beautiful. It's awesome. But it's just when I saw the video, I was like, this just seems like some shit Shia LaBeouf would do nowadays. He acts like a caveman, and she's nice and lithe and skinny and can kind of go through the bars, and he's all this, he's big and bulky and he can't, you know. And, you know, I could try to sit here and try to play some sort of, give some sort of interpretation on the meaning of the dance moves. But to me, it was just yet another incident where Shia just did some weird ass shit, you know. And I love Shia. I still love him. But certain times I'm just kind of like, just stop. Please. Just stop. You know, can we go back to a time where people are talking about you because of your amazing performances in films, rather than people talking about you because of the dumb shit that you sometimes get yourself involved in outside of acting? Can we just go back to that time, please? And in the end of this video, I'm going to actually include Screen Junkies video where they actually went to see the art exhibit of the I'm Sorry exhibit, and they basically tear poor Shia a new asshole. It is sadly hilarious because a lot of the points that they make are valid points, but just how sad he looks. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's really hurt by hearing that. And like I said, I love Shia LaBeouf. Back in the day, you know, even pre-Transformers, he used to be one of, like, I had a crush on Shia LaBeouf. I was like, oh, Shia.
Would you mind taking the bag off? Could you take the bag off your head? Can I take the bag off your head? Wow. Okay. It's you. Hi, Shia. I wasn't even sure. Maybe you hired a guy, just a Craigslist guy or something. So this is weird. What are we doing here? Seriously though, what are we doing? Can you tell, like, what happened to you? Because you used to be this. All right, I have a clip. This is you on the Disney Channel, Even Stevens.
Is this your card? No. Is that your card? No. All right. This one for sure, guys, huh? Is that your card? No.
Okay, that was a good kid. That seemed like an awesome little kid. What happened? Like, what in what has it been, like 10 years? And why are you now a millionaire sitting in a room with people lined outside to see you? They're lined up. Some of them are hungry. They haven't, like, eaten since breakfast. They don't have, like, water. They have jobs that they're skipping. They have kids to take care of. Maybe a dog that needs to be walked. Shia, what are you doing? Why are we in this weird situation? This is easily the weirdest thing I've done today. Say something. Speak. Please. Okay, all right, just a quick word association. Peanut butter. Jelly. Say jelly. Shia. All right, you're wasting our time here. You're famous. Like, you're making them, like, sit out, like, watch your spiral, your downward spiral. Okay, your apology. You're here to apologize. What are you apologizing for? Okay, whatever it is, I'm afraid I cannot forgive you for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Just swinging on those vines, just an abomination. Okay, I guess, I'm going to go. If that's cool. I could stay? All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for taking the time. And, yeah. Yep. Yeah. This has been cuckoo coconuts.
It's so much, and now I'm just kind of like, nah. So that's my little rant on Shia LaBeouf. And we'll be coming out with more videos. Alright, need one out. Deuces!